Today's episode of the Meet the Brave podcast is powered by Northwest Pizza and Pasta, where if you think the pizza is good, try hands down the best wings in the valley. Nobody, and I mean nobody, does wings like NWP. Order
Feel me?
online to save time for takeout or delivery. Keep it lit. It's the Meet the Brave podcast. Let's get it. Fellas, what up?
What's good? Was that a
Hey,
drop? Like, did you just
No.
have like sound come in?
Gee, don't start with me to this.
Nah, I feel like you might have touched the button. We got buttons now?
we got buttons. We
Oh,
got
okay.
buttons now. It's crazy.
I'm just checking if we got like sound buttons and shit.
Oh man, what's up with my dogs, man? What's the word? What's the haps?
Not much, man. How y'all doing?
doing good.
Yeah, man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm still.
Mighty Moratorium. Lex, what you doing, man?
Man, I'm about to be on the road with him.
Y'all both Rotorium?
Production, man. Production is the name of the game, man. Shout out Spur. Let's backtrack. So we did Portland last week. Went up there to do an awesome project with East Oakland's finest, Dame Lillard. And I learned a lot about Oakland niggas. No matter what y'all got going on in y'all life, you niggas are sickos, bro.
Always.
Dame's sick, bro. Like for real. And it reminded me just the mentality and the mindset. Like it couldn't be any further away from what you would expect somebody in the league and with that much access to think like bro, he's such a town nigga at heart. And it made me happy. I don't know what else I thought, but it was really, really dope. But before that, well, I got into town at a fairly decent hour. We did the pod, and for whatever reason, L was just on a mission to undermine the show. Like he had it made up in his mind that this is what he was gonna do, and per expected, everybody reached out about that segment. L, what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Hey, man. I felt like we needed a little shot in our arm that day, so there we went.
A little pick me up. You had to carry us.
Yeah, nah, that's only because that question had a part two. Like, if that question would have never had a part two to it, then we wouldn't have had to dive further into our mental health and that shit. So that's all that was.
But I mean, it is a true testament to our ever growing viewership and engagement. So let's do that first. So salute to everybody watching on YouTube. Salute to our other partners. Let's Bubble Productions for keeping our YouTube hella active. Please go subscribe to the Monty Draper YouTube, but then follow the Meet the Brave podcast playlist on the YouTube page. Hit the notifications so you get alerts of when anything is dropping. Subscribe, and share. Everybody listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Castbox, Google Play, Stitcher, and Simplecast, salute to y'all. Remember to subscribe, comment, and rate. Oh, you should only be rating 5 out of 5 too. And anything, as Bomani says, anything less, we're inclined to believe that you are hating big time. I want to give a special shout out to B Walk, Lige, Shay. Who else don't miss a show? Josh McDermott, my brother. They don't miss episodes. Morg, of course. Travis, DJ Opie. Salute to y'all. And I know I miss John Burke. We got a squad of people that rock with us weekly. That's been reading these books in terms of like sustainability and how important your core is, and I think with the access to social media and shit, we're inclined to like cast these big general nets and completely disregard the people who've been fucking with us from day one. And so as a means to not make the same mistakes as young innovators and entrepreneurs tend to make and like really get wrapped up into the shit that really don't matter as far as sustainability is concerned. Salute to y'all, man, for keeping the show lit. And I know that there's other people that I may have forgotten, but those that I named are the ones that tap in weekly. And I know y'all probably got people that tap in weekly, but those are the ones that hit me no matter what's going on. Special Jeremy, salute to y'all. JoJo. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to y'all for fucking with the show weekly. DJ Mike Smith, my brother Push, who be on the road with us. It's gonna be funny being with niggas who listen to the show because I have a hard time listening to. I've been in the car a few times with people who listen to the show, and it's like, I don't care what you say. This is what my routine is. You're gonna have to listen to it. And I'm just like, nigga, we be saying some crazy shit. It'll
Play
get.
that shit back. It's wild.
It's wild. Um, an interesting week, to say the least. How are you all dealing with the anxiety and the emotions of everyone around you in regard to to this fucking election, man?
Hey man, well, shit. This was I finally followed through on like what my plan of action has been like for a minute now, and that was just like I was going back dark to like off the like not off the web, but off the like social shit. So like all that shit is like no longer like I just have it just like deactivated or whatever. But the like as far as just watching, this was the first election that I like I actually paid attention to, which lets you know like I'm not gonna tell you if I voted before the past or whatever, but lets you know like how this year just felt a lot different than others, as there had to be a clear change in the office. Like everybody had to like, regardless of what your background is or what you believe in or whatever, even at what party you're a part of. We knew that there was somebody that was not like didn't care like whatsoever about burning this motherfucker to the ground. And you can't have somebody else at the wheel when they don't give a shit about nobody else. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's just not a thing. So, but the interesting thing about the just the election in general this time around, I don't know if they've done this in the past. I'm pretty sure they have. But a level of anxiety that they just input into the process is interesting. Um,
Like piping in the noise at an arena. Pretty much, it felt like is what it felt like.
pretty much, man. It kind of feels like just the coverage or just how you count ballots, or not even how you count ballots, but I think more
The
so how you
coverage of
release it.
counting the vote. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
how you release the information of counting ballots. I think they release it in a way that builds a lot of that anxiety for people.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of those years that it was a little worse off than usual. So that was just interesting to cover.
Um, you hit on a really great point. And I was, and I'm often inclined to keep thoughts like that to myself, because I can tend to, I'm honest with myself in that regard. Like I can tend to think about shit in a complete unorthodox way. That's just can feel um like overkill at times. So it's like just mindful of like, yo, you bugging, chill. But there was something in and around the coverage of this this election, G, that I was like, wait, why does this all feel like suspense, like thriller, edge of your seat? Like even how they would go out to commercials and I've never to be honest, I think I watched CNN more in these last 3 days than I probably have been on that channel in my entire lifespan. Um, I was with Deuce. It's funny when you with niggas who just watch the news every. I to be honest, I can't watch the
Ever.
news ever.
Yeah.
And so Deuce watches the news, and it was like I leave the room and come back, and that shit is still be on. I'd be like, oh my god, I can't. My eyes are burning. But then after watching a little bit, you just start to notice little shit, and you like, wait, this is a production. This is a production, and for whatever reason, I just had never considered the news in that regard. And it's like, well, what else would it be? What else would it or should it be up to this point? And I think the first, not the first, but to sit there and just watch, to watch Trump and some of the shit he was saying, and then I don't know, bro. It just they did in terms of playing up the anxiety and the fear. Kudos, because it worked. Some of the ratings were through the roof, and ultimately it's a win for humanity. I watched Van Jones's speech
That
and
part.
in his stance, and it honestly gave me. I know we've been. I don't know what I'm curious I'm curious to see what are the people who have listened to the show consistently, what their takes is as far as where we land as far as like our positions go, and I think we've been clear on it. I just I wanted to be on the side of humanity always, and it felt like both parties at times were just completely disregarding that aspect. Where I gotta, like, for as critical we've been as of Biden, Kamala, I want to give them big props for how they handled themselves in being victorious in terms of the things that they addressed and were clear about, and how presidential Biden did look and sound in the final hours. And so it's the critiques were there, fair enough, but um ultimately I felt like they rose to the occasion on some true presidential shit. And I just want to salute. I want to, and beyond all that, like that's the other part too. I think the part that is getting talked about, and I want to give those people that are covering it their props, because usually you go out part that people are missing. No. The part that is being discussed mightily right now is how much work some predominantly the men and women of color did in order to mobilize, and make this shit as lit as they did, you know, and to have a record number of voters, and the argument of whether it matters or not is that's neither here nor there when the biggest turnout for votership is was this year, unlike any we've ever seen. And so that means that there were a lot of people on the ground doing an insane amount of groundwork, um, in terms of educating people on policy and how to vote, and even the different propositions, and then the local engagement too. So there is a lot. Um, I didn't want to come on here and be Grinch. I didn't want to do that. There's a lot to be thankful for. There's a lot to be proud of.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah, yeah, no, no.
It's only day, like that's, I think that shit was announced yesterday, so I can't
Yeah,
really gritch out
give
yet.
yeah, give them the weekend at least.
Nah, I'll grinch out once it gets passed over. But as of right now, we got 2.5 months of anything can happen still.
Anything.
As far as bro still got power for 2.5 months, so let's let's see what we're gonna be reprimanded for.
He about to run it up.
Hey, y'all thought y'all was about to get y'all checks? Nah, bro,
Nope.
that ain't happening no more.
I, it's you just gotta hold on and enjoy the ride. How much of the election shit did we want to do? I didn't have much on it. Um, did you have a lot, G or Lex?
Nah, I didn't.
I mean, I think only with the only thing I saw is that I think this was a win for, like you said, humanity. I didn't realize how many people were on edge during this time. Like, as far as, like, I saw some real, like real stress from folks. Like, I didn't get how stressed out people actually were
Absolutely.
until like it got to time to actually, like, the voting, like the third came around, and there's drinking went up, you know, cutting off the world went up. There's a lot of stuff that went on at the exact same time that kind of made it more, pressed than I thought it would be. Um, and then I think, nah, I'm gonna leave election stuff alone. We can move on.
Nah. Before we jump off, did you watch The Shop with Obama?
Yeah.
What was your take from the dialogue, and then, in his sort of stance on the state of the country?
Uh, oh, that's what I was gonna talk about, election. We forget and we take for granted, um, people who are able to articulate their words and are able to form an actual point and have a plan as well. Like, regardless of, like, what you might have thought about Obama's term, if you dive into politics, one thing about politics that I've always thought about was that it's a luxury to be able to pay attention and be a part of politics.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot that goes on before you're able to be stabilized enough to worry about what politics actually is. You know, like to play a game, you have to play a game is a luxury, is luxurious. Like to play basketball is luxurious. You know, to play baseball is luxurious. To play in politics is luxurious, bro. Like I don't care what anybody says about that. So like when you be pissed off about people that aren't voting or talking to people that don't pay attention to that shit and reprimanding them about that, keep in mind that there's a lot that goes into play in day to day that is right here in your face before you even get to be able to play a game. You got to be stabilized
Absolutely.
in order to play that game.
Yeah.
But I think with Obama, we just took for, well, not we took for granted, but I think a lot of people took for granted the fact that bro was in office and he showed a stable, a level head while in office, regardless of the fact that when you dive into politics, you'll find out that
It's
that is
chaotic.
just,
It's chaotic. It's
yeah,
hectic. Yeah.
it's a position that you hold, but you also have to have the Senate. Like you got to have, you have to hold more people in those positions in order for you to get a lot of shit that you want to get passed.
Yeah.
So to still be in that position for 8 years with plans in action that you wanted to get done and get told no
Yeah.
and get voted against over and over and over again and still come out of that without any type of like remorse that you show to the public is a leader at heart. You know what I
Truly.
mean? And that's something that we've missed for the last 4 years and people take for granted that 8 year term where there was stabilization just mentally. That's what we find out, and how much damage can be done when you're unstable for 3.5 years. We just found it out this past 3.5 years.
I've I've safe to say that I've always struggled with how critical or people, but specifically black people, have been of President Obama. Um, I and help me through this, fellas, because I'm it's a real time thought. But for whatever reason, I take hip hop for example. If you look at there's no way in the world, forget not even hip hop, sports or what have you. There's no way in the world someone could be fighting a sexual assault case and still proceed with their career as if nothing's happened, let alone be sworn in as the president fighting an open sexual assault case. And so some of the how the goalpost was moved for Trump could have never been done for President Obama. And so when just
Over and over again.
you know what I'm saying? So just through that regard, the how we the standards that black men and black women and things of black culture, predominantly hip hop, gets held to this insanely high standard when the rest of the world kind of gets and again we said we wasn't gonna bash him, but even I think even the election going the way that it did is proof that people are willing to look past certain shit if it means getting their agenda pushed through. You know what I'm
Completely.
saying? And that seems to only apply to a particular group of people. Um, but for us, you can kind of be held. You can be held to something your entire life, your entire existence. You can be held to something. And with President Obama, the stability factor and I get to hear how critical people are of LeBron and I have a genuine hard time with it because I'm looking at it from a sustainability point of view where fuck the stat sheet. It's the shit that's not showing up on the stat sheet. It's it's how much you're able to increase how much your presence in a particular city is able to increase the economic value, right? When you talk about him leaving Cleveland and upwards of $40 million missing from that economy because he's no longer there, like that we got to have a different conversation then as far as an impact, right? And these are again these are the things that aren't going to jump off a fucking stat sheet or a highlight reel or what have you. And so when you speak to the true leadership of just stability and charisma, the shit that the shit that people that don't understand what true leadership is, that they are unable to quantify, because it has no surface value. It's not some shit that you can see. Just basic responses. I had a real breakthrough moment as far as what our privilege is, and in talking to a few elders this past week. It was such a blessing. um I got to build with G on the way to see Pop yesterday, G. And me and
Mhm.
Grandma just talked. We just rapping. And what a fucking luxury it is that whenever I'm on my timeline, a lot, not all, a good portion of my partners that have regular 9 to 5s actually fuck what they gig. Like, they actually like what they actually love what they do. And grandma and I were talking about, like, just the privilege of that, right? So you love what you do, and so you're earning a wage that allows, that love to be sustainable, but then also the impact that it has on your life at home. So you not projecting no stress and no anxiety onto your kids, onto your spouse. So there's a healthier exchange. That doesn't completely rid it of issues, but it makes it fucking better, and there's a generation of black folks specifically that just had to just get it done and afford us to be in these places to go, I don't want to do that. It don't make me happy.
Hey,
And
Monty, do you ever think about why parents back then would have you in bed by 9 o'clock?
nigga, get out my face.
Bro, they are done, bro. I need these 3 hours to myself, my nigga.
That's it. That's it. And they might not even do nothing. That's the cold part. The TV might not even be on. Like, why are you sitting in the dark? Because I just need a minute, just a minute to
Bro,
myself.
bro. So just think about like how much that time you can spend with each other. Like
Yeah,
I just think about like the household I grew up in and like why I'd be like it would be interesting as far as like relationships goes for myself on just like the examples that you may have.
yeah,
Like yeah, there was two people in the household, but it wasn't a guarantee that those two people was vibing or they was fucking with each other.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But the means in order to just survive was only something that could be thought of with two people. You know
yep,
what I mean? Like
yep,
regardless of like if we vibing or not, it's
yeah.
just hey, we need both these incomes,
And
and
facts, and
you
and
know,
so and so that's what I was just like thinking about. I was like, damn, that really is how the generational divide happens, where somebody can go, oh, you didn't, I wouldn't have done it the way you and dad did it. Da, 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 da. It's like, shut your young ass up. You don't know nothing. And you're benefiting from the privilege of love. Love is a privilege, my nigga. You know how many
yeah,
people just stayed, like you just said, because it economically made sense. So don't get out here thinking you're entitled to love, bro. Like, don't get out here thinking you're entitled to, like, the fucked up part is what people got to learn, and what we've always known as black people is, like, you're not even entitled to fucking humanity out this bitch.
hmm
And that's what so many people had to learn in this last 3.5 years. It don't matter what's going on. You're not even entitled to humanity. Like, if you below a certain pay scale. And then even once you break into a particular tax bracket, they still can move the goalposts on your ass. So don't ever get it twisted and think that you're entitled to basic human rights. And if niggas didn't learn that this time around, I don't know what could save us. So all the critics of President Obama, all the critics of his campaign, you walk all that shit back after you watch how this sick fuck undid everything in a matter of a few years.
bro. That was so we talk about plans, right? So I started off with that part, and a person that did not have a plan besides to unravel whatever one person did. Of course, that'll give you a template of work to do
Yep.
while you're in office,
Yep.
but you can't go there for another. Like I couldn't even imagine what the plan would be for the next 4 hours besides
Yeah.
twiddling your thumbs. You know what I mean? Because like for 3.5 years, all you did was look at okay, what did Obama do during his 8 years? All right, we're gonna do the opposite of that.
Do the
So we
opposite.
need so we need to unravel that part. But
Oh man.
once we get to that point, we ain't got no other, like, that's how a pandemic even take place, because we ain't got no other plans. Like,
Zero.
we ain't look no further than unraveling this black man's stuff, because he
Erasing his
what
legacy.
erasing his legacy because he made a joke about me at one of these rallies or whatever. You know what I mean? Like at a roast session or some shit. Like things like that is like the privilege that you deal with, you know, but that is what it is. That shit's over with. And be happy with the fact that for 4 years that man had a chance to do what he wanted, do what he wanted with the keys to America. Y'all got what y'all wished for that one, and now we can get over that. So
Absolutely.
with whoever survives this thing, so we'll move on.
And lastly, before we pivot, I wanted to say this week is also proof that time does stand still. We were running a big ass production, and everybody on the crew, except for the black folks, is glued to their phone, just watching the numbers. And I felt bad because every time the guys would tap in, like, hey, he just got 3 more, and I'm just like, I didn't know what they were talking about, because I wasn't tripping like that, like not
Yeah.
you know, and I hate to say it like that, like I didn't care, but
Nah, that's real. That's real.
bro, this motherfucker was gonna
No, Money, save yourself the stress, bro. Do not keep up with the damn numbers until they come in.
nigga, I forgot. I completely
Because
forgot what people were talking
you
about.
over here, if you over here pay attention to each like numbers that come in from each county, bro, you're gonna lose bro. I'm pretty people had to go grade looking at these numbers this year. They had to.
It was insane, man. So, but my ultimate takeaway was like, yo, I don't want to hear nothing else about the power of mobility. That shit is unstoppable. The way people went hard, and it's people of all walks of life. Like they really unified, mobilized, and made some shit happen, bro. So hopefully that's just a testament to how much power we do actually possess in terms of coming together, even if it is in the name of like a lesser evil. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
and we got saved with the option of doing mail-in voting this year, man. Like, so thank you for allowing that to take place, because the mail-in ballots was the deal breaker this particular year.
yeah,
With there not being any funny business at polls.
yeah,
So that's tends to happen. So they talk about how more blue would mail-in ballots and more red would mobilize to the actual polls
yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
But that's because there isn't much funny business that happens at polls when
yeah,
you're voting a certain type of way in some of these counties.
yeah.
You know, so like if it was like a swing state, you would have had more chances of there being funny business at the actual poll to try to restrict you. Like just think about how Georgia's been,
Yep.
you know, over the last period, like a certain amount of like just the last few months, you know. So like that'd have been an issue if they didn't do some of the mail-in ballots and stuff like that. So that was a big thing this particular year. I'm not saying that that's going to be something that is going to be so important in future elections, but for this particular one, that was a big deal.
Man, we're here. Um, and
And also, I found out what the fucking electoral college finally was, man. Like that
oh no,
that's
yeah,
been that's
they
been
made
the
it
hardest
clear.
thing for somebody to explain to me.
Because if niggas is being honest, they didn't know. So I want to again, I want to just instead of bashing people, I want to thank everybody for taking notes of the critiques and making the electoral college an intricate part of the dialogue in and around the election. It's gee, there was another question I had. I was like, yo, is this the first time that they've done this, or has it always been like this? Somebody help me understand, because I feel like this is the first time I've watched an actual election and saw the electoral college repeated and highlighted over and over and over again, because that shit just came out of nowhere like 4 years ago.
And this is why debating is so important,
Yep.
because we need to know what other people think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and there's nothing like hearing what an electoral college is from people that believe in the electoral college. Because like it's the like that's the only way for it to be drilled into your brain
Yeah.
what that actually means. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like just the idea of states that would otherwise feel that they would not have a voice can now have a higher pitched voice by
Yeah.
receiving more of those votes. Like that's all you need to know when it comes to electoral college on why they
How
don't want
hard
to
was that?
lose it.
How hard was that though?
Huh?
How hard is it to just say that?
Bro, they can make it as elaborate as possible, but that's exactly what it means is that you feel that you don't want it to be where the loudest voices are coming from where there's the most people.
The most people.
So you don't want California and New York to overtake the election every single year. I mean, every single time it comes up. So therefore, you give more votes to states that would otherwise not get their feelings heard because now candidates will have to come to their state in order to hear them out in order to somehow receive their vote.
Could you
Bro,
imagine? Could
somebody
you
would have to
imagine?
tell me
Yeah.
that would have to be a full course if I didn't hear from somebody that believed in it.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm just
semester, bro.
I'm just but I'm just picturing what it, like how it would be though. It was like forget middle America. I would never yeah, I'm not sliding through there. Like ain't enough people out there. I hit Texas. I'm gonna hit Cali. Nah, I guess I could hit New York. I guess I could hit PA. Other than that, I ain't got nothing for you.
That's it. And it also makes it so that people move to those states in order to make sure that their voices are heard. So you'll
Yeah.
see more people pull up in Iowa and in Indiana and Nebraska. You
Where's
know, like
where a lot of the wealth exists in this country, by the way. So it's just yeah, which is evident based on how close this actually was. Like I think we'll tell it as if it was a landslide, um, in as revisionist history will, but it wasn't. It was way. And so while we're celebrating humanity, be mindful going forth, everyone, of how close this actually, how much of a nail biter this actually was, how many states he actually did win, um, and
oh
while
that map is red.
oh yeah, yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay, I get what the numbers say, but based on how this motherfucker look, hmm,
Bro, it's basically the West Coast and the far East Coast. And then
Mhm.
like a little sprinkle up north. Other than that, bro, the South, the Midwest, all of that, bro, is just like shit.
yeah,
East, most of the East, like it's just like, hey, bro,
yeah,
red.
yeah, man, yeah, but hey, congrats. Um, it feels weird too, like
Which
watching
is
you.
okay. Which is okay. I just don't understand it this year. I feel like the entire map should have been blue this year.
Yeah.
That's it. Then everybody can go back to
Then you can go back. Then you can go back.
whatever your stance is after that. You can go. I get why Texas, and I get why a lot of the middle states as well, because it's all about your gun rights, and red is going to obviously go towards allowing you to carry where the hell you need to carry. So gun rights alone is going to have people voting red. But this particular year, just to reset the ballot, blue. That's it.
Man, um, and
That's enough.
and
That's enough elections.
yeah, yeah, and and extremely sad news. Um, hip hop lost another bright star. Um,
What do you know?
King Von, um, rapper from Chicago, was gunned down in Atlanta. Uh, there is video footage of it. Go figure. Um, and
As always.
yeah, and just the news was heartbreaking. Um, King Von, a part of OTF, um, Dark's record label, and just to watch those kids build themselves from nothing, has been one of the more impressive um, climbs as a music fan. Um, I obviously hear the people um, echoing, his subject matter and his content, and wanting that to be the conversation. We're not gonna do that, and it won't be had on my watch. If we want to talk accountability, if we want to talk responsibility, Um, we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm sorry. I'm skipping steps, but um, it just hurt. It hurt. It hurt. It hurt as if I knew that young man. It hurt as if I knew his family. Um, and even in the midst of talking about what's going on in Chicago, what's happening in Atlanta, we Bugsy, my dear brother was gunned down in Atlanta. So there is and we did a Beat Boutique last week, and so at the Beat Boutique, they're guest producers. I just so happened to be one of the producers, so I was just going to play beats. But what happens at the Beat Boutique? You play 5 beats, and the crowd votes on the beat. And so I went second, but Kevin Allen went first, and he just played this fire ass beat, and I had to write to it. And I literally started my verse off. They just buried my nigga yesterday, so fuck this election, and I meant it. It's hard to be consumed with the election when tragedy is as close as it's been since New Year's, and the coverage, the lack of coverage, or even the way that it's covered, is sort of just like status quo, like we're just business as usual. Another one dead, and not and literally no regard and no concern for what that ripple effect will do to that young man or woman's neighborhood, their immediate family, the children that they leave behind, the significant others that are left behind, the family that is left to pick up the pieces, the heartbreak. Um, I used to I wasn't sure how I felt about the concept of dying from a broken heart until Bugsy's mother um, passed the day her grandbaby was born. You know, and it's just it's hard. And as as we as we as we unpack the grieving process and come to understand it, and how long it may actually take and how intricate it really is, um, it's not something to be taken lightly. It's not something to be just pushed aside, and it's not something to be preyed upon and to be monetized from. And so the news comes out, and the way that Hip Hop DX covered it, the way that TMZ covered it, the way that academics sick ass covered it, um, was heartbreaking, bro. Because it was just a means of it was just a means of platform traffic for them. And I say that confidently because of the role that they played in the beefs that were ensuing between different camps, and how that is covered and how it's discussed and how it's sort of just cast aside and not taken seriously. These kids with these big ass fucking guns aren't playing. They mean that. Like, I know it sound cool and niggas is partying to it and turning up to it and shit, but with them, when they even if they don't mean it at the time that they saying that shit, the more you get to chant it and say it over and perform it, and the more clicks it gets and the more streams it gets, nigga, that shit becomes mantra for real, for real. And I know that people are gonna be like, Monty, you bugging for trying to hold the labels accountable, for trying to hold the blog sites accountable, for trying to hold, fuck that. Because there are artists out here that are uplifting black people, that are trying to evolve black people. Nipsey was trying to pivot from having to rap about that street shit. And even in the midst of rapping about the street shit, he was dropping fucking gems, my nigga. Guess what? He's gone. And a lot like Martin and Malcolm, he was propped up so much to the point to where watching him evolve in real time and sort of switch his thinking to the empowerment of all black people became way more deadly than him rapping about warring with other black people. And to keep it a buck with y'all, bro. It's just getting harder and harder and harder to stomach. Um, it's getting harder and harder and harder to be cordial with some of these mindless sort corporations who only stand to profit from our demise. King Von's numbers are through the roof because he's dead. Mac Miller's last four projects were the most ultimate cries for help as far as his addiction. And it's just it's getting disgusting. Um and it's in and the world been celebrating, and hip hop just lost another bright star that had the means to change so many people's lives. His ascension and before his transition had the means to impact so many people where he came from, and he had hopes to providing for his neighborhood. He just was getting it the only way that he saw fit, that he knew how, and primarily because it's what's promoted. Primarily, it's because what is able to generate an insane amount of income. Like I still can't, for the life of me, I cannot understand how art and music about killing another black person can generate so much fucking excitement from the others, and to have conversations about who's snitching. A whole lot of choppers on your ass is a TikTok sensation, and nobody's having a conversation. This ain't me going at those rappers, because I get why they're doing it. Nigga, I got a couple songs about choppers and shit over here. I promise you I do, on this hard drive somewhere, because I wanna get this bag, nigga. Like, for real. It's something that you think about.
Might as well just leak that shit.
Might as well just drop it, huh?
Just leak it, bro.
Just
Like
drop
I ain't know where that shit came from. That was young me, that was before I changed,
G G to I swear I'm gonna
Hey,
put
look around, who the leaks, man? Who the leaks in the camp, man?
it's one of y'all.
who had
Um
who had access to the drive, man?
yeah, am I making sense, or am I just talking crazy?
Nah, you making complete sense on the ethics portion of things. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But this was kind of like the conversation I was having about like during the protests and stuff like that. I didn't want to see the beef spill out into the streets, as far as like in front of cameras. You know what I mean? Like, if you got to beef with somebody, make sure that shit is off camera. You know what I mean? But it was just way bigger plays at the moment. You know what I mean? And I think that's the bigger issue at heart here. Um, that yes, the coverage is fucking it up, because it's not doing any justice or any help to the conversation behind black on black crime. Because there, as much as we know that there isn't a such thing, the marketing ploy on it is only going to be heightened
Thank you.
by more coverage on black crime. You know what I mean? Like, and that's going back to the conversation about, I don't know how white people die, because like it's not covered the way that black people's death is covered. Like, the fact that there's a camera that's always handy when a black person dies is sick to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's a deeper woven sickness to the entire public. But why others are so infatuated with it is because that is what they see, that is what they know from afar. They know that it's rare, it's a rare occasion, if ever, that they'll be put in a situation where that is going to be real to them. So they see it as nothing different than watching superheroes at play, to tell you the truth. Like, it's not like a superhero that can't die. You know what I mean? Like, that tends to happen more times than not in these particular cases, because none of us are bulletproof. We may speak as if we are, but none of us are actually bulletproof. But from the other's point of view, there's only going to be another superhero. But in the meantime, seeing that this superhero dies is infatuating to me as another, because I was aware of so much of their lifestyle, and to see that a lot of their lifestyle comes to fruition, it makes it so that it's more intriguing to know that they could be wiped away than it is for them to win, or for them to uh, uh, make it to the point where people forget about them, or not even forget about them, but make it to the point where they creep beyond the height that they're at. You know what I mean? Like, because we might as well kill off people that reach a certain height ourselves by ignoring them once they've been here long enough to no longer be hot. Like, we might as well kill them off ourselves. You know what I mean? Like that. I feel like that's in the same ballpark as dying young at your height when you're just about to get on, or when you are getting on.
Yeah.
The same death is after you've been on, and you're being here for a long enough period of time that people start talking about you as if you never were hot. That's the same type of death in my book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, probably not to families, I get that, but I'm talking about on the overall scope of fame and celebrity and all the shit that we're actually talking about when it's talk about monetizing things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's sad to hear. I had a big RIP for that way. I mean, I had just learned about King Von a little while ago. Um, it's not my realm to like really know too much about like drill music. Is that drill music?
Yeah. Yeah. But
Like drill rap?
and Dirk, I think Dirk sort of coined it the best. He's like, they what Vaughn and his sort of faction was able to do was sort of channel what Sosa and them did in like 11,
Okay.
2011, but even figure out how to turn it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And so it again, it's not I'm not naive and I'm not naive to what the subject matter was by any means, but these are babies we talking about. And that how influential, forget influence, this is true recantment of what it is they have access to and what they're seeing. So he wasn't making that shit up
Oh, completely.
at all.
Completely.
This what type of time they own. This is the life they live in. They're not making it up, and that's the unfortunate part. That
Okay,
uh,
so what is the shelf life for the clock on a life that is being lived that way, money?
you're right, G, you're right. It's short. I'm not, but for that, it's extremely short. To answer your question, sorry, extremely short. But for time and time again, for the labels
I got you.
to invest in that, what's the difference? Outside of ROI? What is the difference between Empire, Atlantic, Universal giving King Von or someone a bag of that magnitude for their subject matter versus versus investing in Rhapsody or someone from the Jamla Squad who has who the music is excellent and is uplifting black people. Oh, ain't nobody checking for this shit. Ain't nobody listening for that shit. Why? What is the infatuation with the demise of black men and women? What is that fascination on both ends? I'm not absolving us of that. I turn that shit on just like everybody else. I'm guilty too. What is our fascination with that? Is all I want to unpack and
I get it.
uncover,
Yeah.
in the hopes that we can pivot. Um, that should just hurt. It just hurt because it it's what we know that comes with that life, and that hurts to say, to just normalize and go, that's what come with it. I, I don't want to say that no more.
I think the issue at heart or at hand here is that And like deep down in people's hearts, they do not want to be better. Like they don't want to feel better. They don't want to get better. Uh, it's way more like it feels better. It's a lot more impactful for them to have small wins, like short goal wins. And I think that like as far as happiness being elusive, as long as they can always be striving towards it and say as if that is something that is eventually obtainable, then they get over on the fact that they could be unhappy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the unhappiness part, people tend to stay in way longer than they need to, and that's only because if they were to obtain happiness and find out that it's not all that it's cooped up to be, that they will somehow, when they figure out that heightened space, they will end up being, there's nothing else to strive for.
Yeah.
I think that's the same. That's the same thing with. I mean, yeah. I think that's kind of where it is as a public. So that's the reason why they tune in and be so into the demise of things.
Yeah.
Like that shit is hella interesting, demises and stuff. For some fucking reason, for people, I don't know what that
And
actually is.
and it seems to only and this is an interesting pivot, but you bring up a fascinating point, but it's the tone. It's the tone that Dave had last night on SNL. For anybody that didn't watch it, Saturday Night Live, hosted by Dave Chappelle, musical guest Foo Fighters. Um, Dave's Dave's uh Dave's monologue, his opening, I thought I thought was fascinating, and what he it felt like he was playing with um emotions, like emotional agility. I felt like that was a focus of his, right? Sort of lower you in with the laughs, and then turn up on your ass when you most vulnerable. So you don't have nothing. You ain't no way to escape it. You've been laughing at it this whole time, and now you in it. Now you gotta sit with that shit. I thought it was brilliant execution.
Also, so big sticks and stones energy then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And but the way he was inviting the white liberals in on the joke, and then immediately taking the comfort away. I thought it was brilliant execution. Um, that was that was just my observation. I could be way off, but that was how I feel. Lex, did you watch it?
Yeah,
What'd you
and
think?
exactly what you said. He he's a master at it, especially when he said the thing about, oh, that's why women get paid.
That's why
Because
women get paid 50% less, and then you could have heard a pin drop in there. It's like, oh, I thought we came to do a comedy show.
like, but how he brought everybody in and then was like, oh, you guys are comfortable? Wow, let me hit you with this. And then
Everybody getting it.
to the point you could tell he looked off stage at all the people who are off stage behind camera in their faces too, and it made him laugh harder.
He's like, oh, y'all offended for real. Okay, here we go.
I was about to say that brings in the craziest thing and probably one of my things that I don't care for. Uh, I didn't put it on the list on this one, but this one just hit it on the head. It's people that go to comedy shows or know that there's a comedian going to be involved somewhere, but they don't laugh.
Yeah.
Like, why you coming this motherfucker with a stone face, knowing that you're supposed to be hearing people tell jokes at you? Like, where did that dynamic come in at?
And that's what I imagine that's what Dave was getting in the room, because he was fully like, oh, y'all can't be serious. All right, bet. You uncomfortable? Let's really take it there then.
Yeah, like the people that be like, "Oh no," or like when Dave tells that story about the lady that was trying that interrupted the show, and then people tried to get her up out of there, and then he told her to stay, and then he schooled her on the issue at hand, and then she changed her mind at the end. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the people that I don't really understand. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like how you get so angry at a comedy show? I don't know. But go ahead.
But the world seems to be full of those, where it's like, as long as the joke ain't about me, or as long as if it's not rooted in like this false idea of martyrdom. It's like, bro, like there are ways to unpack guilt through and through our daily existence, because it's just a conversation about convenience if you want to be honest about it. But it's a different conversation than neither here nor there. But I really enjoyed um, that comedic relief at the end at the end of a week where to be honest, I'm still left more confused than I am anything. Um, Again, a win for humanity, but slightly, where you feel like humanity should always win by a landslide, and it isn't, and it hasn't, and wanting to pander to people's humanity in hopes that they'll be able to see, and it's just not how this fucking thing has been built. Because if it had been, we'd be having a whole different discussion around economics and education and medicine and all that. But yet and still, capitalism is winning through and through, and we've shown that is the kryptonite to humanity. It's just like, yo, where the money at?
Hmm. Big
So
time.
yeah, man. That's what I had. DMX was on with Talib Kweli, and that was some of the most heartbreaking shit. I don't know if y'all got to see that. L, you had some stuff about sports, um, and this, what is it, the songbird shit too. I wanted to hear more about that. So I didn't have much, so I didn't want to hold y'all up to figure out what was more important to get to.
Uh, I mean, so to y'all on that one. But oh no, the so the what is it? All right, so this is sports being cheap, and we can just get that one out the way. Uh, that was just more so. I was looking at um, does it feel as if sports is being like since sports is being used as an escape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel as if the actual game itself is no longer a like a part of the plan anymore? Like people just playing the game or enjoying it is no longer a thing. So it feels as if like sports is gonna slightly start to like degrade itself. I feel like it's not gonna be a
It's
thing. So.
that sports ain't like, we keep
Like
talking about how
the pandemic sucked it away, of
yeah.
course, because of all the like. There's nothing else to do, so this was just one of your pastimes that you didn't realize was. But like once you start taking these things out one by one, then it starts to lose a lot of its interest naturally, anyway. So.
Gee, it is ultimately fascinating to me. I watched my first college football game of the season last night, and I literally only watched overtime, Clemson and Notre Dame,
Hmm.
and I went, wait a minute, I love college football. Why is this the first game of the season that I've watched? I was hella confused. It's like, wait a
Hmm.
minute, uh, the bubble wasn't fucking with it. NFL not fucking with it. Uh, I watched parts of the world. I think I watched game 4 of the World Series, maybe. Um, that was it. And I love baseball. I couldn't tell you the last time I missed the World Series. I missed this one. You know.
Hmm.
I don't hold no weight. Don't hold no weight at all. Um, they're gonna have to make some supreme adjustments. They're all sports are extremely antiquated, and all sports coverage platforms are antiquated and disgusting. ESPN is fucking disgusting. Jamel Hill, Michael Smith lost their jobs behind rhetoric and scripts that have become the sole meat and potatoes of each show.
Oh, yeah.
Jamel Hill and Michael
Once they
Smith
took the distractions away, they was like, we gonna have to we got to double down on these
over
social
over the
topics because
over the shit you just fired them for. Oh, y'all sick for real. You know what I'm saying? So once everybody sort of got exposed for not giving a fuck about black people specifically, I was off it. Um,
yeah.
I didn't expect that to be the consistent tone of the world. And granted, they're still doing numbers. There's still marketing dollars to be had, what have you. And it, I just know for me, somebody who's an avid sports lover, I never envisioned a day where I would not care about sports at all. I didn't see it coming. Uh, So I don't know
Yeah,
if
I think
that's
I think without certain figures, so certain figures are no longer a part of some of these sports. I think they will have a hard time garnering a lot of the attention that they've had to this point.
yeah.
With the fact that society is growing in a way that is off of a lot of like the like sitting down and paying attention to something, like
Yeah.
paying attention to like a game or something like that for a period of time.
Yeah.
They're out there just doing their own like videos or something like some like they've learned to be self-sufficient in their
Absolutely.
own way of distracting themselves. So it makes it difficult for them to sit. Like theaters are going to have a hard time coming back. The sports are going to have a hard time getting people to pay attention. And shit, what other distractions are there?
Netflix is fine. Prime is doing all right.
Yeah, no, those are great. I don't know about Disney though. Disney got to figure out how to get their old content to get paid attention to in today's day.
Disney buzzing, man. They tripping. They trip. They. I mean, it's ESPN, so I get it. I get why they fucking this up. You how do you
They
have
had a lot of secret
access to A1
layoffs too, I
Dope?
think.
Secret? No, nigga, we heard about them. Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
at this point,
Heard about them.
at this point, I think they
Disney,
got Stephen A.
Disney. Hey, watch Stephen A. gonna be in what's the new Finding Nemo, nigga. He gonna be one of the voices.
Hey, you feel me? Hey, I'm gonna need you to cross. Remember that money we gave you? I'm gonna need you to cross reference a lot of that, like
That,
that
who
likeness.
who keeps making that point? It's Joe. Joe was like Stephen A. got 10 million a year, whatever he got, and he's like Stephen A.'s on TV all day. They making him earn every penny. Stephen A's on call.
Oh yeah, he's on call. He stays on the plane. He has to pull up to a lot of locations.
Yeah.
Which, given, I mean, I'm not gonna give Stephen A. too hard of a time on that part because given his background and where he got to today,
Mm-hmm.
all that shit makes sense to him. Like,
Yeah.
if you're a worker, you
You a
work.
worker, you a
You
worker,
know
you
what
a
I
worker.
mean? You work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he works. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Like he's getting paid for it. At least he's getting compensated for it.
Yeah.
And then Songbird. I don't know if y'all saw the preview for Songbird, but that's gonna take a few people out
Tell me
whenever
more.
that drops.
Tell me more.
Songbird is about the pandemic 4 years from now. So like this is like if the pandemic just stayed and never left, and it just kept re-energizing itself and breaking into different strands, so making it into another version. So it just kept evolving.
Yep.
So in Songbird, they're on COVID 23 for
Sheesh.
Oh,
4 year 4 years from now, and like people like there's martial law. People are not able to leave their locations, so like you're not able to go from state to state. There is no more flights. You don't fly nowhere. You don't
Nope.
drive nowhere, bro. You are literally stuck to your location. You can't leave your place. And like your only means of communication with anybody is going to be through FaceTime or through the internet. That's the only, like, we're pretty much there right now, but like there
I was
isn't
about to
anything
say,
that you
nigga, sound like COVID-19 to me.
nah, bro. Like this is like enhanced version of that shit. So like this is what everybody's worst fears were. They put that shit
Put
into
in that.
2 hours, condensed that motherfucker, and it's about to have people freak the fuck out. Cause like, and guess who made it?
I can't wait to see this.
Guess who's the producer?
I don't even want to.
So you know he about to
Who?
big this shit up.
Who is it?
Michael Bay.
Oh shit.
that shit.
It's, I can't wait. I can't wait to see that.
Now the cool thing is though the term that comes out for this particular film is predictive programming.
Predictive program.
So that's an interesting term that they're talking about, just like in Hollywood, because somebody brought up like how this Hollywood always jump or be able to jump on a lot of these topics that seem as if they're real and like it something that could actually happen. Like it makes you feel as if it's actually happening, and
Yeah.
you're currently in the state right now. They're like, bro, it's predictive programming. Like they're basically trying to wean you onto this concept before long, and allowing it to make it normal for you, so that when it eventually happens,
You
you were
don't
already
freak out.
aware that you're already aware that it was a possibility. So they're just going to ramp it up initially and see who can make it
Yeah.
to this point in time. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what it is. That's interesting.
Hmm. Yep. Ready for? We got to do a super recap of that because it's gonna freak some people the fuck out. I'm
Oh,
excited.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. I
We
think
damn near
people
should do
gonna
a
be,
watch party for that. That'd be fun.
yeah, that'll be
Where's
lit.
it
Um.
coming out on?
I do not know. I just saw that shit. So let me see. I don't know.
Yeah. While you find that, DMX shared a horror story with Talib. That honestly almost moved me to tears. I got to keep it a buck with y'all. Um. He was talking about his mentor that put him on rapping, and he was saying, yo, it was it was the gift and the curse because it is where he got his start rapping, but it's also the place where he was handed a blunt that was laced with crack,
Mm,
and the beast was born, and he hasn't been able to shake it. And he was so self-aware to what that has done to him over his lifespan, and even had the impact that it's had on his career, both positively and negatively. He That's a demon he has not been able to make peace with. And
mm,
it was just heartbreaking to hear somebody that has had that much success, been that renowned, and is that brilliant too, have to fight something that is well beyond his control up to this point. So, um, I don't know. Check out the Talib podcast if you haven't. He gets some really dope guests. Because he's a rapper. He gets some really dope stories too. But that one was really hard to stomach, and I don't know. It just we went so Grand National has a song called Hook Mitchell, and get asked over and over again why it's called that, and I don't remember why we named it that in the studio. I just remember the more I thought about it, especially what everybody was saying in the song. My verse in particular, I wanted to paint a picture of how thin the line of success and failure is, and even how thin the line of life and death. Especially when you start losing homies as early as we started losing friends and stuff like that. I've never really made peace with that, because I've always wondered, like, yo, what was the difference? And I've always chalked it up to family and being insulated by really dope people, and not necessarily being dependent upon being a follower or needing to fit in. But I've had my moments of wanting to fit in too, if I'm being honest. But I've always been insulated and protected to explore my individuality, thanks to the L's and the Zenas and the Tays and my sister and Freak and all that. Like, I've always been encouraged to lean into that. So I've always wanted to understand what that thin margin is, right? And then I started watching the Hook Mitchell documentary again, and there's J Kidd, there's GP. So all the niggas from the town that made it to the made it to the league. B Shaw from the Rich, like, that made it to the league, and every single one of them was like, "Yeah, Hook was way better than me." And I'm just like, "Yo, damn, how little talent matters." Like, seriously, when you think about it in that grand scheme, like, how little talent matters in the name of any of this shit, right? Um,
For
how
them
what you
stories, for sure.
man, it's we talking about Oakland 1980s. Like, if you survived that, God bless you. You need a hug right now. Like, the horror stories I hear about Oakland in the 80s, the Bay in the 80s, is just like, oh my God. Like, how did anybody survive that shit?
Yeah, I think the common misconception that people have is that success stories are built off of the individual alone.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the the revisionist history that people look back in, like, when people tell their stories, they don't really talk that often about how they got to their point. They'll just tell you that they were on. You know what I mean? Like, I was out. This is how this I'm on, or whatever. They're able to, like, big it up and stuff like that. But for a lot of these stories or whatever, you don't talk about the insulation process, because, like, there is no. I'll take this person because everybody knows the name. There is no LeBron James without the insulation process.
Yeah.
Like, LeBron wasn't in a situation. This is the reason why I never understood how much love that Steph will get. but you won't pass that on to LeBron as well, because people thought that he was just crazy gifted, body wise and stuff like that, that this was going to happen no matter what. No. To that, like the earlier part of his life, Steph has a better chance to make it to the league because he was always around the league than LeBron James is able to make it to the league because of all of the factors that go into
Ground
getting him to that
zero.
point.
Ground zero.
You got to get a kid to that point, and it's not like, and once you see talent, there has to be a group of individuals that insulate the talent to get to that point. Like there is, like you just don't see talent and allow talent to just go out there and figure it out and continue to go on by itself.
Yeah.
No, you have to hone in talent. You have to be around talent at all times and make sure that talent understands that you are the option. Like you
The
are the
exception.
pedestal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you are the exception to the rule. You have to understand that. Like there has to be people around them that insulates them to the point that gets them to their destination. Hook is no different than that. Somebody had to insulate Hook, and there wasn't a person there wasn't a group of people that insulated Hook.
And they tried a lot of them, and he's honest about how they tried, but it was like that his circumstances and his surroundings were so extreme that it would have taken so much to help that young man, bro. And he and again, same with X. Like when you're that young and exposed to something that potent, that's not a battle you that you have chances of winning, good chances of winning. Excuse me. Um, and I for X to break through, for Hook, for them to steal, for them to still have moments of absolute genius with their respective talents. You just go, what if, you just start asking the question, what if they were insulated the way you speak about G, and when they were molded and crafted and protected ultimately. um
Yeah, if somebody's in extreme circumstances, you get them out.
yeah.
That's the insulation I'm talking about
Yeah.
for specific talents. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
that's all I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because there isn't much of it. I believe this wholeheartedly when it comes to a kid, a GP, a B Shaw, that there wasn't plenty of opportunity for them to go off, like the wheels to fall off, and something pulled them in. Like
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly don't believe that wasn't the case. Same thing with Dame Lillard. I don't think that was much of it. Like I feel like there was, given the school that Dame Lillard went to, you're not telling me that it was just Dame that pulled that off. Like
Yeah.
you're not saying that to me. So
Absolutely.
like I feel like that's just like how that just how the cookie crumbles. You would say in a lot of these situations, bro. Like,
I had a real interesting conversation with your pops, and it was so funny because it was a classic vulnerable moment. Like it's just a moment, a time to be vulnerable and just kind of sit in it. And immediately he went in. I'm big Unc, nigga. I can't be vulnerable in front of you. And I'm going, Unc, I'm 31, bro. I understand heroism completely different than I did as a kid, right? Like heroism has vulnerability. It has all these. It has the we love we love Bruce Wayne, nigga, because he almost died in how many of the movies? You know what I'm saying? And had to like nurse himself back to health and
nah, not in the Dark Knight Rises, bro. That nigga got it. That nigga got his soul took by
but
Bane, bro. That
but see the
I don't
but
care what anybody say. He didn't make it out that cave.
see
That's a
but
damn lie.
but to that point, nigga, but get your soul took and come back and then talk to me. Like that's my like life is going to do that to you. So I don't have this delusion that you're perfect, you haven't had any setbacks, you haven't had any missteps or what have you. Like it's not where I am anymore. And I started thinking about that, like just in terms of my pops and a lot of the elder statesmen that I look up to, and and the and again the privilege and the luxury that we've had to understand emotional intelligence slightly better, um, and how certain information, for the next generation is so pivotal for so that we don't make the same missteps, right? And I started thinking about that as a whole for Black men in our understanding for heroism as a whole, and um, not having any outlets, not having the insulation we were just speaking of, not having the proper means, and all these different variables that play into our existence, and niggas are just left to their own devices to figure this shit out, and ultimately, depending on how that space is navigated, can impact all their other relationships so mightily that it undo or undermine anything that niggas had set in stone. And so I didn't really have anything for that other than to just keep remind, like, even just our small circle, just remind one another, like, yo, nigga, no matter what y'all are going through, it doesn't change how brilliant I deem you are in my eyes. I don't think of you any less. It has no bearing upon the regard and where I hold. And I'm speaking to y'all too, but I'm speaking to the cats that listen to the show, and just remembering how important the open dialogue is to just come work through some shit. And the fear. Oh fuck, who was talking about that? It was it was Busta and Chris Lighty, it was Busta and Nori referencing Chris Lighty, God rest his soul. But they were just saying, like, yo, what happens to the man that put everybody on, and he's facing financial hardship, but he put so many millionaires on. How do you muster up? How do you muster up the courage to come say, yo, I'm down now? I hit a rough spot. I'm this, I'm that. Like, how do you muster up the courage and not just eat that on the chin and then dig yourself in a deeper hole when you could have just asked for help from one of your partners, but maybe all of them would have. 50 would have pitched in. Bus would have pitched in. LL would have pitched in. Missy, like, he had so many people that loved and supported him, but the world had beaten him down to the point where he didn't think he could ask for help. um and so many black, and I get it, be inclusive, but our black men's battle with emotions is often disregarded. So any of the fellas out there going through shit, you're not alone. Tap in, please tap in. And then even on my part, doing a better job of making sure I'm tapping in and checking on niggas too, because it's just, the world's fucked up. You're not able to earn, um, provide for your folks, however you've been impacted. It may not even be financially, just emotionally. The shit is hard being in the house and trying to be health conscious and aware and all this shit, bro. It's just a lot that people are dealing with right now. So check on your partners, please, please, please. G, you had anything else, Lex Bub? You got anything before we go?
No, I don't.
G, G, how you feel?
I'm good, man.
Good, man. Which y'all know how we give it up. More content, always more content. Great conversations. Be sure to follow the Monty Draper YouTube page, and within that YouTube page, there's a Meet the Brave podcast playlist that you can 100% follow and just stay tapped in. Hit the notifications button, and you will get alerts as to when new content drops. Salute Lex Bub and Let's Bubble Productions for keeping us lit. Our sponsors, Northwest Pizza and Pasta in Ashland, Oregon. It's been another episode of Meet the Brave podcast, and we will see y'all next week.
Love, love.
Yes.